All right, so it's officially the middle of September and it's starting to get cold outside and I'm not a fan. I feel like I didn't even have a summer. It was like COVID started yesterday and now it's September, so that's fun. And now it's to the point where it's colder in my house than outside, which would be great for summertime, but not when it's freezing in here. And I don't want to turn on my heat. I will wait until the last possible minute to turn on my heat. So there's that. Okay. Today's book is one of my favorites that I read in a while. Code Name Helene. I love historical fiction, and this was published just this year, so I haven't seen anyone else that I know read this book. And I haven't seen it flooded on social media. So I happened to, I want to say Goodreads recommended it. I got an email. I'm gonna say that's what it was because, like I said, I haven't seen it too many other places. But it just came out this year. It's kind of long, 437 pages, and there's a lot of words on a page. But yeah, so it took me a minute to get through it. Okay, so it takes place World War II in France, and most of the other historical fiction novels that I've read jump like timelines from like now, which would be like, I don't know, the 1930s, but then it would go back 15 years or 20 years ago or jump forward like a significant amount of time. This is a little bit different. So it does jump timelines, but it's only within like a 5-year span. So the main character's name is Nancy, and each chapter, so it's not numbered chapters, it's labeled by her code name. So she has 4 names that she goes by. So there's like Nancy, and then it talks about like how she got involved in the resistance and her life being married, and she was a journalist and all that stuff. And then there's Madame Andre. I don't speak French, so I'm gonna say Andre or Andre. Sure. She is like the soldier that leads all these military guys in France. Yeah. And then there's Lucienne Carlier, and she helps people escape from like border to border. So she is like transporting people from anywhere, but I want to say like Germany, that side of France, to Spain. So she goes under that name. And then there's Helene, and we don't know who Helene is right until the very end. So it's very good. Okay, so Nancy, Madame, Lucienne, whatever you want to call her name, she is a badass. I mean, she tells it like it is. She can drink guys under the table, and she's not drinking like wine. She's drinking like brandy and like, you know, hard liquor, and these guys can't keep up with her. And that is what like basically makes them respect her as Madame Andre when she's at war. She demands respect from everyone. Doesn't matter who you are. She's super sarcastic. So the writing in this is great because she is so sarcastic, and like I said, she's just blunt and she cusses all the time. Like, now remember, this is back in the 40s, late 30s, early 40s. Women were not like this. Women were prim and proper. They didn't say much. And she is the total opposite of what a stereotypical woman in that time period was. So she is awesome. And her signature is her red lipstick. She takes it everywhere. Before she goes to like talk with the guys or has something difficult to do, she calls it her armor. So she puts it on. So she's like in the middle of like the forest, sleeping out there for like 2 years, but she still got her red lipstick. So she's awesome. The thing that I didn't know about this book until I started it, and I want to say I only found this out because there's a lot of like French towns and some words and stuff that come up that they don't give the translation for. So I searched something and then her picture came up and I was like, wait, what? And this was towards the beginning of the book. So all I found out was that Nancy was a real person. Well, maybe this should have been my first guess, my first clue. That's her. I was confused. I'm like, who is this lady? When I saw this. So that's her. She was a real person. Yeah. And so this novel was based off of her actual story. So she was all these different people and she did do all these different things. It's just the story itself is fiction. So some of the details are real. The author took it from Nancy's autobiography. So some of that stuff is like very detailed and actually happened, but then the story itself didn't. So, you know what I mean, right? So I didn't know that going into this, so that was kind of exciting because now I'm like, oh well, what else do we know about this lady? And the author says at the end, like, she could write multiple novels about Nancy, so I thought that was pretty cool. Another thing is World War II was kind of like where female spies came out. This was like the first time that there were female spies everywhere and you didn't know about it. So yes, there's that, and she is considered a spy, but as Madame Andre, she is a military leader. So she works for the British government, legit, like SOE, special something, I don't remember, but it's like basically a Black Ops division, and she's sent to France for them. So there were many female spies during this time, but not many female military leaders. So like I said, she's a badass. So this is one of my favorite books I've read, especially this year. I feel like it got a little there at it for a brief time, but yes. So if you read it, please let me know what you think because I adored this book. All right, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.